Pride appearances. Adelaide Lightning are the Lightning. Introducing for the Lightning, number 6, Shana Thompson. Number 8, Isabel Blaze. Jess Simons. Number 9, Taylor Mole. Number 11, Ella Batish. Number 20, Bianca Stasinowski. Number 24, Lauren Mansfield, the captain. 33, Isabel Bourne. Number 34, and Taylor Brazel, number 41. Introducing for the Sydney Flames, number 1, Lauren Nicholson, the captain. Elise Hurst, number 3, Aisha Williams, number 8, Kira Rowe, number 10, Abigail Curtin, number 11, number 14, Lara McSpadden, number 15, Caitlin Martin, and number 22, Paige Bradley. Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the national anthem.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Northside Indoor Sports Center, the home of the River City Rebound. It is game night number 2. The matchup tonight to kick things off is the Sydney Flames taking on the Adelaide Lightning. I'm John Guarna, and tonight I'm joined by Despina Dickerson and former Sydney Flames guard Maddie Allen. Maddie, we have some exciting news for those who may not know, but can you tell us what you've been up to recently?
Yeah, so having a little break from basketball. Life's going in a different direction. I am having a baby in January.
Very exciting news. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
A few months to go then. How are you feeling?
Yeah, starting to feel a bit tired again, a little uncomfortable, but yeah, feeling really good. Still getting about, still going to work, still trying to get up and down a basketball court, but just not as fast.
Well, I know you love basketball, so it's very lucky for us that you're not playing tonight, so we have you here in the commentary. Obviously, you're familiar with the Sydney Flames group, a few familiar faces from last season. Did you get a chance to see the game the other night? Because it was a tough game. They only dropped it by 1 point to Perth.
Yeah, I did see the Flames play the other night. Yeah, Perth is a good team. They're relatively full strength. You know, Sydney still has a fair few of their big guns to come in. So I think to go down by 1 point is probably a pretty good run for them. Emma Clark had a pretty huge game, massive third quarter. Her and Lara McSpadden kind of led the way. So I think that's, you know, a good run for them coming into the season and getting some minutes early on.
Yeah, we should note no Emma Clark tonight for the Sydney Flames. A bit of a calf strain, so she's going to rest up tonight. It is preseason. These players want to be there for the regular season. Adelaide also had a really tough matchup. They opened up the River City Rebound against the Townsville Fire. They dropped also a 1 point decision. Really good performance, though, from Adelaide with some real standout performances.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great game and a great first hit out for Adelaide despite their loss. I mean, Izzy Izzy Borlase, she had a great game. She was really the spark for that side. But it'll be interesting to see how much they kind of up the ante tonight. Obviously, first game, you get those little jitters out and you work on a few things. So it'll be interesting to see, how they've adjusted coming into tonight.
And Des, obviously in your role with Basketball Queensland, you've played a huge part in this event. Yesterday was one of the key events with all of the teams out in the community. Can you give us a little input into how the community received the 4 WNBL teams here in Brisbane?
Yeah, it was great. So we had the four WNBL teams go out to a few different associations, Ipswich, Logan, Brisbane, and honestly, they were great. There were so many girls there, and I think it was such an exciting experience for them, and something that, us here in Queensland, Townsville is a little far, but in Brisbane as well, we don't really get to experience that because we don't have our own team. So I think it was a real blessing for the young girls coming through, and yeah, very exciting for them.
I think the community has certainly spoken with the people in the stadium and also how they received the teams in the community. We want a WNBL team here in Brisbane, and let's hope that these few days show improve that to the people at the WNBL and to that business community to get out here and support it. Let's get to the action, though, and let's talk about our starting lineups for tonight. For the Sydney Flames, the captain, Lauren Nicholson. You got Kira Rowe, Lara McSpadden, Paige Bradley, and Elise Hurst in the starting lineup. For Adelaide, you've got Isabel Borlase, Ella Badish, Lauren Mansfield, the captain, Isabel Bourne, who was huge the other night against Townsville, and Taylor Brazel. Our referees for tonight, we've got Kylie Vodovin, Taylor Falker, and Jordan Andriola. It's going to be McSpadden and Bourne to tip. And you mentioned Lara McSpadden, near triple-double the other night. I love seeing her work out of that high post. I would be surprised if we don't see that here from Sydney.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Lara's one of those players who just will do absolutely whatever is required of her team. And obviously with a lot of people out at the moment, she's going to have to play a big role this weekend, and really looking forward to the matchup between her and Izzy Bourne.
Here's Borlase, nice take and finish. Really nice opening bucket for Adelaide. And without Emma Clark available, you see getting the start is Bradley for the Flames. She came off the bench the other night. Trying to get Nicholson the ball here early. Goes away from the McSpadden screen. Good contest by Brazel, but there is contact. It's going to be a foul, and Nicholson will get to the line for 2.
You like the aggression from the Flames that they've come out with tonight. I really like that drive from Nicholson as well. Really kind of just taking it to Adelaide.
Yeah, you see Brazel wasn't too happy with the call. It was pretty clean block, but certainly got some contact with the body.
I think when you're aggressive at the hoop, the refs kind of protect you a little bit if you're, trying to play through contact. And if there's a little bit there, then I think give it to the offensive player.
Well, Nicholson certainly has a reputation of being a pretty quality offensive player, doesn't she, Maddie?
Absolutely.
2-all to start this one here. Sydney in that matchup, showing the double team. Bourne, good hands by McSpadden to come up with the steal. See the attention Bourne got early on that possession.
And rightfully so.
Here's Bradley working. Swings it to Nicholson, uses the pump fake, gets some space, short on the jump shot. Mansfield has it now. Brazel, baseline drive, floater. It's an air ball, recovered by Bourne, and she draws the foul from McSpadden. And I was really, really impressed with Isabel Bourne the other night. The versatility in her game was really on show, and you see there as well, just kind of finding herself in the right position, in the right place on every possession.
Yeah, she's come off a really successful college career, and someone that I think is definitely earmarked to play for Australia in the coming years. Like you said, just super dynamic. On the Thursday night, she's banging bodies with Satina, and then, she's stepping out to hit some threes. So the versatility is nice. When you've got a big player like that, it's pretty hard to guard.
And it's not a bad option to have someone who could guard 1 through 5 also. It always helps.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's Bradley, stops and fires. Nice hit there for Bradley on a nice screen from McSpadden. Again, we had Nadine Payne the other night talking about how great the screens are from McSpadden. You see it right there.
Yeah, I mean, if you're on her team,
Definitely not the person you want to receive a scream.
It's very interesting. You know, we had I spoke to Laura during the NBL 1 North season, and feels like she's been around Queensland forever. I forgot that she was from New South Wales. She was really happy. I mean, I know she loved the time in Townsville, but really happy to be home in New South Wales and in Sydney. So really looking forward to seeing what Laura could do with the Sydney group. What do you think she brings to the team?
Well, first of all, I think Sydney are very happy to have her home. I think she definitely fills kind of a hole for them. You know, they've got Kayla to come in and import 4, but she's kind of like just a really big body that's going to come off the bench. You know what you're going to get from her every game. She's going to rebound. She's going to, you know, play a bit of that garbage man role where she's going to get on the boards, get some putbacks, and, like we said, set super hard screens.
Ooh. Hurst looking for McSpadden. Tough catch.
Nice.
What a pass. And a great finish inside for Rowe. And
that's another really good element of her game is her ability to pass as well.
Yeah, Lara finished the other night with 14 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists.
Wow.
And you see Bourne again with the layup. She is going to be putting up some numbers here tonight. She's aggressive on the glass, and she's already got 4 points. Nicholson's jumper is off. Brazel recovers it. Going to reset.
It's good to see the quality of defense I think probably has picked up a bit since Thursday night. You know, it's 6-5 start, and I think teams are really locked in. Maybe they've had a look and seen what each team's bought this weekend, and the teams are able to adjust and scout a bit better there as we see Izzy Bourne hit another shot.
Yeah, this time from deep. So again, the versatility. We've seen her in the paint, now outside of the paint, outside of the arc as well. I've talked to both coaches, and every coach before the first game and again tonight talking about how they want to tighten things up defensively. I think if you ask any coach at any time, they're not really happy with the defense. So not surprised to hear that, especially when all 4 teams scored over 90 points on Thursday night.
Absolutely. And again, there you see Izzy Bourne guarding Lauren Nicholson, who's an elite international offensive player, and you've got your 5-man guarding her. So, yeah, really looking forward to seeing what Izzy Bourne can do this season.
Offensive foul called on Adelaide there on the moving screen. It's an 8-all start. Pretty good pace to this game. Very different from the other night. A little more methodical from both teams, I think.
Yeah, definitely a little bit more kind of clean, and they've obviously gone back and looked at the tapes and seen what they can do better. And yeah, both teams look a lot better tonight.
Nice.
Bradley steps into a confident 3 and drains it.
I think this is going to be a really important weekend for Bradley. You know, kind of finding her feet in this league. I think it's good to kind of come in and play some heavy minutes and kind of get a feel for the players in the league, because it's very different from playing NBL 1. And I think, yeah, just having the weekend to play with her team and see what the level of competition is like. There's some really great guards in the league. So, yeah, good to see her kind of getting in a rhythm today.
Let's talk about that adjustment from NBL 1 up to WNBL, because, Maddie, you did it last season when you moved into the team with the Flames. How does it help you prepare for a WNBL season, but what is the big difference you see between the 2 levels of competition?
Yeah, I think in the NBL 1, obviously the level of competition is super high. You see lots of players from the WNBL playing in the NBL 1, but they're kind of scattered throughout the team. So, you know, you've got maybe, if you're lucky, 1, 2, 3 WNBL caliber players. Probably the championship teams have 4 or 5. And then kind of the makeup of the team is people that next step under or up-and-coming juniors and things like that. Whereas you go to the WNBL and 1 through 10, it's everyone's elite. You go to practice and, you know, your 9th, 10th player could be the best player at training on any given day. Or, yeah, just I think the spread of the players and the quality is like there all the way across the board, and everyone's playing at a super high level. I think probably the physicality and like the speed is another thing. Obviously, playing against big, strong, athletic bodies, and typically people who spend all day, most days, working on their games, working on their bodies. I think that really shows when you get to that next step up.
And how about the preparation, though, I guess, in the sense of, you know, you work on things in the off season. how does that translate to your preseason and building into the season?
Yeah, I think the NBL 1, it's a place where you go to get your confidence. You're probably in a bit more of a free-flowing system and get better opportunities, as we see Paige Bradley hit another one. In the NBL 1, I think you go to get your confidence, and you have to go into WNBL seasons feeling good about what you're doing, and especially in preseason, so you kind of prove yourself. In the NBL 1, you're playing that level of offense against still really good defensive players, you kind of know what you have to do once you get to preseason.
Things are heating up here. We were talking about how defensive it was. We've seen a bit of an offensive explosion here as Sydney pulls out to a 3-point lead. Both teams hitting from deep. Des, and again, seeing the ball movement, a lot of it from the inside out, and you see it again right there as Hurst steps back and hits a three.
Yeah, absolutely. Sydney are now feeling very comfortable behind the three, but for me, that little stint there just kind of came from their defense. They got a few steals, and now they're just feeling really, really comfortable. I think they got Adelaide out of a rhythm, so they're looking really good. And
talking about three-point shooting, it now for Sydney, 3 of 4 from deep. They're shooting a super efficient 7 of 10 to start the game. Coach Guy Malloy must be pretty happy with that, right? I mean, and you're holding Adelaide to 13 points. Yeah, I think there's a really good point spread there as well. You got 6-6, 6-3, 6-3. So good to see everyone getting involved, and I think that's kind of the offense that Guy is trying to put in place and make everyone feel good about themselves. And I think that's what this weekend is really about, is just feeling good in what you're doing offensively and figuring your teammates out, and I think Sydney are definitely starting to do that. And Sydney and both teams really playing with a lot of their younger players, DPs, players that probably will not see too many minutes in the regular season, but the expectations from the coaches are still there. You're part of this group. You got to get out there and perform. For Adelaide, on the other side of things, Izzy Bourne's got 6 points. Isabel Borlase has 5, and then it's Brazel with 2. So nothing from Mansfield or Badish, but they're shooting the ball pretty well too. 4 of 7 from the field at 57%, and they've hit 2 of 3 from 3. So we're looking at a couple high-scoring games here again. So far, we've had 2 games, both teams in the 90s, and looking where we're at, 4:32 into this one, 6-point lead for Sydney, but both teams looking at the 90s, maybe even triple figures. Who knows? Yeah, Adelaide already on 4 turnovers though, so halfway through the first quarter, you're tracking for 8 a quarter. That's probably where they need to tidy things up again, as they almost throw another one. Yeah, good hands there by Hurst, and the double team for Sydney really disrupting Adelaide. You see they double team Mansfield on the perimeter that time, which was a bit of an adjustment because they were doubling the post previously. And offensively, Sydney has been very patient, really not forcing anything, just taking what the defense gives them. Adelaide in there, man-to-man. Bradley's hit 2. Can she make it 3? No. McSpadden tips it out, recovered by Nicholson. Those are the things that just don't get statted either, those little tips by McSpadden. She created a whole nother possession for her team, and that's not going to show up on the stat sheet, but that's kind of just the energy she brings. Mansfield looking to get going, misses that jump shot. McSpadden cleans it up. Nice no-look pass. Good read there from Borlase. Goes out of bounds off of Adelaide's going to stay with Sydney. Badish checks back in, as does Rowe for Sydney. Kira Rowe's a really great versatile player for the Sydney side. She can kind of play that 3 spot. She's a really good slasher as she throws the ball away. She can also play that 4 spot and kind of defend all over the floor. So, really great utility player, and she's been there for, this might be her 3rd or 4th year with the Flames. So, hoping for a big season for Kira. She had a really good game the other night. The thing that I really loved again is one of those players that could do a bit of everything but doesn't need the ball in their hands to be effective. No. She'll be one of those players who, she'll play 30 minutes in a game and maybe doesn't have a heap of points or rebounds, but her plus minus will be like plus 15. Yep. Just definitely someone you want on your team. Absolute workhorse and everywhere on the floor. Another turnover for Adelaide. McSpadden is fouled. That was a great look from Bradley on a cutting McSpadden, and Lara's really working the court. She's super aggressive defensively, and you see her beating the defense down the court for an easy look at the basket.
Yeah, that's it. You definitely cannot fault her hustle there. I mean, she, she's doing it on both ends of the court, which is, I think, makes her a really important part of this side as well.
And again, impact on the stat sheet for Lara is she misses the first one, but 2 points already. She's got 3 rebounds, 1 offensive. She's got an assist and a steal, so she might be looking to try and get that elusive triple-double that she just missed out on the other night. Goes 1 of 2. 7-point lead for the Flames. We've got 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Regan, fire. 7-point lead for the Flames.
Yeah, Adelaide just can't really seem to get anything going at the moment. Kind of getting random shots that don't really look like they're in their offense, and Sydney's really capitalizing on that.
But I think also that kind of goes to show the defense that Sydney is playing pretty good there, and really kind of packing in the paint and forcing them to take those tough shots.
Bradley from the corner hits again. She is on absolute fire, is Paige Bradley. She's got 11 points here now.
Yeah, you can tell she's really starting to feel it, really understand where her teammates are, where her spots are. And not only has she hit some shots, she's found her teammates a few times. So, yeah, good to see her finding her feet.
Simon steps into a 3. It's strong. Tipped around. McSpadden lost it out of bounds off the hands of Badish. So it's going to be Sydney ball. I really want to touch on what you just said, though, Des. The defense of Sydney has been excellent. We see you can clearly see what they're trying to do. They're trying to keep the ball out of the hands of Mansfield and Borlase and trying to see if someone else will step up.
Oh, great pass. Oh.
Laura McSpadden missed that one. She'll regret that, but she's moved on already.
Yeah, the other thing about this Sydney defense is they get a lot of people crash the rebound. So, they make them shoot a tough shot, and then if you don't have Lara McSpadden there's another 2 or 3 people there, and they're off and running.
McSpadden stepped out of bounds off of the rebound, so it's going to be Adelaide ball on the baseline, and that is when you talk about rebounding, you quite often talk about the number of rebounds, but that's really completing a defensive set, getting that defensive rebound.
Absolutely, yeah.
Great finish from
Don't
Ball.
want to give people too many possessions, especially when you're playing such good defense. When you kind of give up an offensive rebound, it's a little bit heartbreaking.
There's a backcourt violation for Sydney. Good harassing defense there from Brazel.
And I think, that's definitely what Adelaide did right now. That's me.
I don't know how it sounds when I'm out there, but it sounds really low when it's up. Jump shot for Mull. She's gone back-to-back. It's a 6-point lead for the Flames. Checking in for their first minutes is Caitlin Martin. She's got the ball over to McSpadden now. McSpadden going to work. Right hand layup is good. Nice move there from Laura McSpadden.
Just great touch around the basket. I think, she's such a big body. If she gets positioned down there and can make a move, then it's pretty tough to stop her. She's got a really nice touch.
Brazel fakes the handoff, drives baseline, cross-court pass. Good ball movement. Simon's open 3 off the back of the rim. Brazel chased down the O-board.
Tough to not make that shot there, but you really have to like the ball movement of Adelaide there and trying to get Sydney moving and on the back foot.
Brazel couldn't beat the buzzer. That's going to do it for the first quarter of action. A very good quarter for the Sydney Flames. They go into the break up by 8. And, offensively efficient, defensively really, really tight. Holding Adelaide to 17 points, got to be happy if you're a Flames fan.
Yeah, absolutely. I think 25 points in a quarter, Nat Hurst is probably not going to be super happy with that. Means they're tracking for 100. 17 is probably about where you want to keep a team. I think even Guy will go in and try and lock down on some things. But Natty Hurst probably looking to give her team something else to just generate a bit more offense, and probably need to get Izzy Bourne back in there to be a bit of a target as well with Lauren Mansfield.
Well, we saw the Sydney Flames paying a lot of attention to Mansfield and Bourne. What does Adelaide have to do, Des, to make those adjustments to help them get into the game?
Yeah, I think what we just saw then, I mean, they were able to get a good shot off there, and I think it just comes down to their ball movement. Maybe, something simple, just setting some more screens for Mansfield to kind of come off and get her open and let her kind of get her groove a little bit more, I think would be kind of helpful for them. But again, for me, it kind of comes down to your defense, and if they get a little bit of energy and they kind of lock down on D, they might be able to force some turnovers and get some easy buckets and get themselves going, I think, and not allow the Flames to kind of set up their defense.
Flames were super efficient offensively in that quarter, 56% from the field, 4 of 7 from deep, and they got to the free throw line 4 times, so got to be happy with that for Sydney. And Adelaide. They did start pretty hot, but finished the quarter at only 2 of 8 from 3, and again, got to give a lot of credit to Sydney's defense on that.
For sure. And for me, I probably want to see Lauren Mansfield shooting more than 1 shot in a quarter. Obviously, she's getting a lot of attention, but this weekend she's going to have to carry a lot of that offensive load. And I'd like to see her and Izzy Bourne in some action. It's really hard when you've got to defend a really good guard coming off a pick and roll, and then, also a great big who is she going to roll? Is she going to pop? Would maybe like to see them get into some of that action.
But is it even about maybe taking her off the ball for a second, and setting something up for her to kind of come off, because it's a little bit hard when she's getting so much attention right now as well.
For sure.
And Adelaide has shooters all over the floor as well. I mean, I know we just knocked them for shooting 2 of 8 from 3, but they were all really good looks and definitely shots in the hands of people that are capable of hitting it. So Sydney playing with a little bit of fire potentially, leaving those open shooters.
Absolutely.
Second quarter underway. The River City Rebound brought to you by Basketball Queensland and the Queensland government. It's the Flames on top of the Lightning as McSpadden missed another layup. Nearly got the rebound, but Simons recovers it for Adelaide. She pushes up court. The ball reversal ends up with Brazel. Now Badish baseline jumper. That's a layup.
Yeah, Badish loves that little mid-range jumper, and I think, like Des said, just that ball movement and kind of attacking the space and then finding the next person is kind of looking like Adelaide's jam. So looking to see a bit more of that.
So 6-point game now. Here's Rowe putting it on the deck. Reverses out to Martin. There's 4 on the shot clock. Martin spins. Nope, there's the offensive foul. She definitely got the shoulder right into the chest of Lauren Mansfield. Good defense there from Mansfield. Yeah,
you like to see that. I think Adelaide have kind of come out now with a little bit more aggression on the defensive end, which I think is maybe something that they were lacking. So, this might spur them on offensively as well, just give them a little bit more energy.
Yeah, starting the quarter with a score and then a stop, and they get another score here, another stop, and, we're looking at a 2-point game.
I always find it amazing because traditionally you do see things when you're struggling offensively, if you kind of turn the pressure up defensively a little bit, it helps you on the other end as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a real energy giver when you get offensive, you draw an offensive foul like that, or you create a stop or force a turnover or something like that. It's easy to go down your own end feeling good about what you're about to do and probably feeling like you have a bit of the upper hand.
Mansfield out there. Nice cut by Simons. A great dish from Badish as well. And there is that. You see Mansfield coming off the ball and the action away from the ball. Just beautiful from Adelaide.
Oh, great pass.
Beautiful pass. McSpadden missed it. Steps through, fades away, missed the hook shot.
She'll be kicking herself.
Just a few easy ones Lara would love back. Badish from the corner. That one's strong. Bradley. Now McSpadden leaking out, gets control of it, goes up with the left hand and lays it in. Look of relief on her face after that layup went in, eh?
Probably just needed to see one go down. And Lara works so hard on her fitness and her game in general, and I think when you see a big body like hers going end to end like that, it's super impressive and definitely deserving to be on the end of that defensive play.
And it is a different fitness, isn't it, Des? Being fit, but then being basketball fit is two totally different things, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, I think I'm fit, but I go back to play basketball and I struggle. So
Absolutely.
What do you think the keys to being basketball fit are?
Playing basketball.
yeah, I was going to say
It's
playing
really,
a lot.
it's really something you can only do when you're playing consistently and at a high level. And it's definitely one of those trained types of fitnesses. It's not something you can really get from just running on a treadmill.
It's kind of hard too because it's a lot of stop start, like different types of pace and
jumping, lateral.
Yeah, exactly. So
that just makes it another reason why like preseason and stuff like the River City Rebound is so important. As Paige Bradley hits another three, her fourth of the game. She's 4 of 5 from deep. She's got 14 points. Looking to respond was Bourne. She missed that one well off, but Adelaide recover. Bourne swings it to Mansfield. She'll attempt the three. That rolls off the rim.
Adelaide might need to make a bit of an adjustment here on Bradley now. She's hit a couple of shots. You got to kind of give her that respect and pay her a bit of attention now if you want the game to start going a different way. She's killing them.
And I mean, Bradley was pretty quiet last night. She only had 6 points. So tonight she's really kind of come out and stepped up, and you can just see the confidence on her. So yeah, as you said, they do have to adjust to the way that she's playing and really kind of lock in on her.
Yeah.
Blocking foul on Rowe. Coach Guy Malloy wants a timeout. Didn't like that call. They're 3 minutes into the quarter.
I agree. I think that's maybe a no call. I think Kira did a good job of just keeping her body in front. She didn't reach. Let them play through the physicality.
It is a physical game. You got to let them play. And Coach Guy Malloy going to take the timeout. I don't mind the timeout, though, because, he's got a bit of a shorter rotation tonight without Clark on there. And he knows he's going to have to play a lot of minutes. They got another game tomorrow night as well. And, preseason is important, but obviously you want to have everyone available and healthy for the regular season. So Clark, though, really disappointed we don't get to see her tonight because she was awesome the other night, Des. She just really took over that game and carried Sydney.
Yeah, she did. I mean, she did it really well on both ends too. And I mean, 28 points to start out, like that's pretty amazing. And I think everyone's pretty excited to see what we can expect from her, come the actual season as well.
What was your approach to the preseason, Maddie, like heading into a WNBL season when you were getting prepared in a preseason? What were you looking to do? Was it a fitness thing? Was it with the group or trying to learn the offense, defense? What did your approach look like?
Honestly, it's a bit of everything. You're training 2-3 hours a day on court, pretty much 5 or 6 days a week. So the fitness is something that just comes. I always tell people WNBL preseason is the best shape of my life I've ever been in. But yeah, I think it's definitely about, figuring your teammates out, understanding offenses where, looks are coming from for the team, but also really understanding your role within those offensive and defensive schemes so you can get a good understanding and just feel really confident in what you're doing once you get on the court. I love preseason. It was so hard. I got to guard our import for pretty much the whole preseason last year, so I felt good going into games and, my ability to play defense on good players and, just getting up hundreds and hundreds of shots a week. I was also feeling pretty good offensively.
Yeah, I bet that was your favorite part, the shots,
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I've never got so many reps in my life.
Look at Bradley feeling confident, missed that short jump shot. So Sydney had come up with the steal. They nearly came up with a second one, but Adelaide recovered now. And they have it with Borlase, guarded by Hurst. She wants the screen from Bourne. Picks up the dribble, goes cross court with it to Mansfield. Mansfield against Nicholson. That's a great matchup. Both players hit the floor. Brazel has to throw up a wild one and banks it home.
Nice. Adelaide really needed that. They really needed a score there. And you'll take it whatever way it comes.
See it on the replay here. Brazel, really good recognition as well that the shot clock was there to get the shot off to beat the buzzer. And those are ones that kind of start to help you build a little momentum also.
Did anyone hear her call glass?
I didn't hear it, but we'll take it.
I'm sure she mumbled it very quietly under her breath, Maddie.
The
if we
points
asked
count
her.
either way.
That's right. 6-point deficit for Adelaide off of that 3-point attempt or 3-point hit from Taylor Brazel. Pumps there, 3-point shooting back up now a little bit higher. They're still only 3 of 12 though from deep.
Yeah, good to see Stazanowski on the court as well. She came on the other night and had a really impactful game off the bench. So she might be able to come in and kind of give them a bit of a spark offensively and defensively and get them going here.
Yeah, like you said, she was excellent off the bench. Another real versatile player as well for Adelaide. As we see Rowe with the 3. Mansfield cleans up the miss. And I love Mansfield's game because she is always in attack mode, putting the defense under pressure, and you see her pull up for the short jumper.
Yeah, Loz is someone that she's just a straight baller. Balls in her hands, she's going to do something crafty with it, whether it's a score or making a play for someone else. And that was actually off the back of a really good defensive set from Adelaide and a strong team rebounding set.
Well, they got another stop here, and they're slowly chipping away at the deficit. Mansfield, good look. Brazel from the corner. It's a long 3. Spadden cleans it up, but good hands on Adelaide there. Brazel got the deflection. Ends up with Mansfield. 3 is up. Another offensive rebound, and Adelaide wants to run some half-court offense.
And Adelaide are doing a really good job now of kind of getting on the glass. I mean, if you're Sydney, you're probably not too happy with giving them, another 2 goes at the basket.
Great ball movement. Adelaide again, though, cleans up the miss. It was Bourne that time. She's fouled inside. She's going to get to the free throw line for a couple of shots. And let's talk about offensive rebounding, because it looked like Adelaide just got about 7 offensive rebounds in a row, but they only have 7 on total in the box score.
Yeah, I think they've kind of kicked it up a notch with their intensity. Got a few rebounds. They've got a few really good stops, and kind of just seems like they've flicked a switch here and ready to get going. Would have loved to see one of those Loz Mansfield 3s go down.
Yeah. Really good ball movement, though, from Adelaide, and very unselfish play, because we saw about 4 or 5 passes in there, and probably on about 3 of those, they were open looks. So that one extra one, you tend to see it fall. I'm sure it'll start falling if they keep going with it. Williams has it, looking for Nicholson. Instead goes to Curtin. Jump shot is short.
Sydney's kind of gone away from that steady offense, getting the ball through hands, setting some screens. Great pass. Oh,
great look. Brazel unfortunately missed the left-hand layup.
So tough for that to not go in. Lauren is just so crafty with the way she moves the ball.
Yeah, she's got going now, which is really what Adelaide need.
And Mansfield, though, gets called for the holding foul on Nicholson. It's a great matchup, isn't it? Nicholson and Mansfield going at it on both ends of the court.
Yeah, 2 people that really get a lot of attention for their offensive play, but I think if you look at them playing defensively, they're hassling each other a lot. So yeah, great matchup.
Bradley gets the screen from Curtin. Brings it out to Rowe. There's 4 on the shot clock. Rowe flips it up. Bourne, another rebound. And this is what Adelaide, I thought, did really well, grabbing the defensive rebound and pushing up early. Mansfield, there's the double team. She reverses it. Ends up with Badish, corner 3, strong. And there's a foul on the rebound. It goes against Bourne. That's going to be Isabel Bourne's first personal foul.
Adelaide are just starting to play some really unselfish basketball, just getting the balls flowing super nicely, and some of those shots just really deserve to go down, and I'm sure they'll get going eventually, but they're getting really, really good looks now.
Yeah, and we kind of saw that at the start of the game. They struggled just because their ball movement wasn't really there, but now they do seem like they're getting into a bit of a rhythm, and I mean, for Sydney, they're just kind of, as you said before, they've kind of stepped away from playing that way. You're not seeing the ball go through as many hands, and they're not really kind of, executing any of their plays, I think, at this point. So it's probably just taking it back, going back to what was working for them.
But you look at the scoring here, it is a 9-5 quarter for Adelaide. So the scoring output has certainly slowed down. For me, for Adelaide, I think they're settling for jump shots a little bit more. I think they could probably get a little more action at the rim. And for Sydney, let's be honest, they've missed probably about 3 or 4 layups that they probably should have hit. So they are getting good looks. It's just the finishing that's not there for them at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. I think this next couple of plays after this timeout, guys, probably given them a set that they really need to, get a few good looks out, spend a few possessions just getting good looks, setting good screens, making good cuts, and make some plays and not settling.
And that's all it is too. Once you see the ball start to kind of go through the hoop again, you're fine. You find your feet and you feel a bit more comfortable.
One thing we haven't seen much of from Sydney so far in this first half is that Laura McSpadden at the high post, coming up, either those little handoffs off the high post or those backdoor cuts out of that high extended elbow. So I thought that was something that worked really well for them, and we haven't seen much of it, if any of it.
Yeah, I was going to say, you really do miss that. She did such a great job of it last night.
Let's see what Sydney does out of the timeout. Adelaide in a bit of a zone here. Nicholson turned it over. Mansfield there to pick up the steal. Of course, she's got her head up. Borlaise gets inside, skips it. Again, nice ball reversal. Brazel, confident three.
They're so good at making that extra pass. And like I said, it's just good to see one of those go down because it's super, super unselfish and just playing for your teammates and getting a good shot.
Great finish by Nicholson. The left hand plus the foul. Just caught Adelaide sleeping there a little bit. Admiring that three-point shot, and you don't get yourself set. And there's Nicholson catching the defense asleep with the backdoor cut.
And the strong N1 finish.
And very good addition. Obviously, Nicholson making the move from Townsville along with McSpadden down to Sydney. What do you think Nicholson will bring to the Sydney Flames group?
Yeah, I think coming off the back of a championship, it's so, in any league, any sport, it's so hard to win championships. And I think once you come off a season like that and you know kind of what's ahead of you, just having that experience and knowing what it takes, and she's been in the league for a really long time. I think she'll be a really great leader for this team. And that's just on top of what she brings on court. She can easily, I think she had a few 30, 35-point games last year. And just supreme offensive firepower.
And, we should be reminding everyone again, this Sydney Flames team is missing not just Emma Clark, who we saw the other night, but they still have Kayla George, the reigning MVP, to come back into this group. And Shanice Swain, who is one of the top young players in the country, obviously had a great NBL 1 North season, had a great, obviously was drafted in the WNBA as well, and someone who is just growing on the daily basis in her skills and confidence. As we see another three from Adelaide, they cut their deficit to 1.
Getting close. What
a good comeback here in the second quarter from Adelaide.
Yeah, just going back to Shanice, I think Sydney is a great landing spot for her. We talk about Loz Nicholson, you've got Tess Madging, you've got Kayla George, you've got Dee Dee Richards, you've got all these people with such high caliber resumes, and for a young and upcoming player like Shanice, being around those type of people and being exposed to, playing against them at practice every day, and then on top of that, their mentorship, they can give her a bit of a lending hand. I think it's just such a great spot for her, and really looking forward to seeing her put on a Flames uniform this year.
This Flames group on paper is pretty impressive, and they've played some good basketball over the first 2 games of the River City Rebound. On Adelaide, they still have their couple imports to come, so they've got Brianna Turner and Jocelyn Willoughby. Willoughby is currently playing for the Liberty and taking on Kayla George in the WNBA Finals, and they also still have Steph Talbot to add to the group, who's recovering from injury. So this is a really talented Adelaide group. I really like the young players that they have to complement the veterans. This is a group that I think could potentially surprise some people this WNBL season.
How important do you feel like a season, a preseason tournament is like this, especially for the younger players that are going to get lots of run under their belt?
Yeah, I think when you can have a really established core group, great lay by Izzy Borlaise there, when your core group is feeling really good about what they're doing and they're really established in, you know, how they want to play, the offensive sets they want to play, how they want to play defense, and really get that going, then when you're adding imports and international players and all those really high-level professional players, it's just a recipe for success. When your core is solid, those professional people, it's what they do. They come in, you know, whether it's at the start, halfway through seasons, the whole kind of, the wheels get turning, and by the time you're starting the season, you're feeling really good about what you're doing.
And just to be able to compete against the best of the best in the country on a daily basis, you can't help but improve, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way you can't get better, right?
Absolutely. And I think that's, you know, why we're just dying for a team in Brisbane. You know, we've got so much talent here. We've got so much great local talent, you know, up-and-coming, established players. And having a team here is just, it would just be so good for, you know, women's basketball in Southeast Queensland especially, just to, you know, give those people an opportunity to really have a good crack at playing at this high level and expanding their careers without having to move overseas or move to a different state. And yeah.
Very well said, Maddie. Very well said. And I think, you know, the message is loud and clear that we want a WNBL team here in the southeast corner. And I know that there's lots of interest in Brisbane, but not just Brisbane. There's potential on the Sunny Coast. There's potential on the Gold Coast as well. As McSpadden gives Sydney the lead again. They were tied at 37. The transition basket from McSpadden pushed the lead to 2 for Sydney. Coach Nat Hurst going to take a timeout, and really, again, Sydney just punishing Adelaide in transition there. You look at the points off of turnovers, so it's only 4 there for Sydney, but the fast break points, again, only 4. I thought it would be more. Well, I got to talk to the score bench. We had the same issue the other night.
Yeah.
That's a transition. That's a fast break point right there.
They must not. That's not what they count as a transition bucket. But
I don't know.
I don't know. We did see a lot of that last night. Same kind of
Is
situation.
school benching kind of like subjective, like refereeing is? Like, I'm never bagging the refs, but, you know, it's all about interpretation.
Yes.
And
It
it's
is.
like there's no clear set rule of this is a fast break point
And every
this is an
referee is
offensive
different
foul.
too.
Yeah.
Like everybody has,
Yeah.
you know, different ideas. So.
Yeah.
Well, to me, that was definitely a fast break point.
I agree.
Simply
I agree.
because it
We'll
was
count it up here. We'll
2 on
count
1. I got to get my stat sheet, and I'll just manually track it, and I'll do the comparison. I know Bill will get at me for giving him stuff about it, but anyway, it was a really good transition basket there for Sydney. I like the timeout, though, from Adelaide, again, because preseason-wise, it is a good opportunity to really kind of work on situational basketball as well. So you trail by 2. You can go for a 2-for-1 here, I would imagine, for Adelaide.
Yeah, exactly. I was just about to say, I think that's probably what Nat's called the timeout for. You know, get a good quick look here, make Sydney make a quick play, and then, you know, you end up with the ball in your hands to finish off the half.
Let's see what Adelaide does. They got about 30-ish seconds left in the half. They got 15 on the shot clock. Bourne was expecting a cutter, and then they turn it over. So miscommunication there. And again, we're working out the kinks. It's preseason, so it's not necessarily acceptable, but a little more.
Yeah.
Little more.
That's what you use your preseason for. It's, like you said, drawing up situational plays. How can you execute? And, you know, I think for coaches as well, that's kind of where they get, you know, a bit of trust and faith in who can be in a timeout, look at a whiteboard, and go out and execute what's been drawn up to finish off the half.
3 for Hurst. It's up. McSpadden, another O-board. She puts it up and in. McSpadden making an impact on the glass. That is her 10th rebound, 4th offensive. And Mansfield gets the shot off, but that wouldn't have counted anyway, I don't think. And going into the halftime, it is the Sydney Flames up by 4, 41-37. A really nice comeback there from Adelaide. It kind of fell off the tracks a little bit to end the half, but overall, great quality basketball we're seeing here tonight.
Yeah, I think the standout for me right now, Paige Bradley. She's got those 16 points, but she's also making some really, really great plays. Another one is Lara McSpadden. She's already got 10 rebounds. She's got the 9 points to go with it, and it kind of just feels like she's everywhere.
Great job from Sydney. And for Adelaide, again, you know, you look at Izzy Borlase, the reigning WNBL Rookie of the Year. You see why she is the Rookie of the Year. 10 points on a very efficient 4 of 5 from the field. Also has a rebound and a couple assists. Thoughts quickly before we wrap up for the half, Des?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, first half we've seen a few kind of like ebbs and flows. But I think it all just comes down to them kind of playing it out and finding that consistency and rhythm, for both teams as well. But all in all, it's pretty exciting, and I think it's going to continue to be close. A very close one.
I definitely agree with you on that one. Let's take a break. Let's get some refreshments. Don't go anywhere, though. We'll have the halftime analysis. We'll go through the box scores for you. And, of course, we'll come back with the second half of action. It is the River City Rebound. It is the Sydney Flames up 41-37 over the Adelaide Lightning. Brought to you by Basketball Queensland and the Queensland government. Welcome back to the River City Rebound. It's halftime of the Sydney Flames versus the Adelaide Lightning. It is the Flames up by 4, 41-37. The River City Rebound brought to you by Basketball Queensland and the Queensland government. I'm John Guarna. I've got former Sydney Flames guard Maddie Allen with me, and we have a special guest with us, Alex Koenig from the Townsville Fire. Thanks for joining us, Alice.
Thank you for having me. I also played for the Sydney Flames.
Hey.
Yes. Well,
For a year.
what do you think of the action here so far, the River City Rebound? I know, obviously, you were here the other night. We didn't get to see you on the court, but what do you think of the preseason action so far?
Yeah, it's been great. I've obviously been out of the league for a couple of years now, but it's been really exciting coming back. It's a fast-paced game, and it's been so exciting to see the Australian up-and-coming talent and the future of the WNBL in the Opals and Australian basketball. So I've been really, really impressed.
What was it that attracted you back to Australia, and particularly playing for Townsville?
Look, it's been a great couple of years in Europe. You know, I played 4 years in Europe, and I loved my time there. But you know, I'm a little bit older now, so time to spend more time with the family. And the opportunity came up last year to potentially play for the Fire, but I stayed in Europe. But this year, you know, like I kind of wanted to come back and be a bit closer to home, and the opportunity came again to play with the Fire, and something I really couldn't turn down after watching them play last season, and you know how they were as a team. And I think even just the league, you know, just wanting to grow the league and support the league, because it's exciting, you know. Yeah,
what do you see so far from the league from the last time you were here? What are the differences that you've noticed?
Fast pace and high scoring. Wow. You know, in Europe, it's a lot of defensive focus, the teams that I played in. So to have 90, 95 points is pretty much unheard of. You'd be training every day for the next month. So, but no, I mean, it's great basketball. It's exciting. It's fast paced. The athletes in this league are impressive. You know, watching Ball Age, she's an incredible athlete at such a young age, and yeah, it's really exciting times for the league right now.
What do you think about Brisbane as well? Obviously, you know, we're here having the River City Rebound, a great preseason event. We want a team here. What do you think a team in Brisbane might look like?
Wow. Well, last night I was at the NBL, and honestly, that was incredible. I'm here for the River City getting a team, honestly. No, it's great. You know, obviously the 2032 Olympic Games are in Brisbane, and it's incredible to see what the Brisbane government's really doing and the funding that they're putting into the sport and all sports across the country. So, no, it's really exciting, and I think absolutely we need more teams in the WNBL. There's so many great players in the WNBL and who aren't making rosters. So, absolutely, I'd love to see a Brisbane team come in, and I think it'd be even more exciting to grow the league. And then, you know, maybe we partner with NBL teams. So that's something that is the future can look forward to.
You did mention you were here for the game last night. You made your commentary debut.
Yes.
How do you feel you went? I watched the game. I thought you did a great job.
What's my score? No, I'm kidding. No, it was really good. Obviously, great crew. You know, Rucker, Copes, Jack Heverin, Gazy. It was obviously a really exciting game. Sydney played a great game. Pretty tough for Brisbane, you know, the week that they've had, but I thought that they really bounced back and stayed together. Obviously, losing Baines is quite tough. Oh, Loz doesn't look too good there. Losing Baines obviously really tough, but no, even the NBL, it's super exciting. You know, the games are exciting. They're high scoring, and that's the spectacle of basketball that everyone's watching and watching around the world too.
So Loz Nicholson definitely is shaken up. It looks like it could be maybe a finger or a wrist, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. We'll keep an eye on it. But she's shaken up, has to come off the court. We'll see if we can get an update for you. This is one of the dangers, though, of playing preseason games. You know, there is always the risk of injury whenever you play, so hopefully it's nothing serious. But I know Coach Malloy would not be very happy at the moment, because I spoke to him before the first game. I spoke to him tonight, and both times I said, what's the keys? He goes, I just want to get through it healthily.
Healthy,
so.
yeah. I mean, it's good, though. Like, full credit to Northside and the Brisbane government, Queensland government, for putting on this spectacle, because we need these games, and this is, you know, this gets people watching and this gets people talking about the WNBL, and at the end of the day, that's what we want. We want basketball to continue to grow as a sport. You know, teams like AFL, soccer, we don't want them taking over us. You know, basketball's been such a force in this country, and we want to keep it that way.
It's been great couple games so far. The first two nights were fantastic. This is a great game as well. It's a 1-point game at the moment. It's Adelaide actually in the lead, and we see Mansfield going to work. Brazel, another one of those youngsters, and Maddie, she comes out firing and confident.
Yeah, I think in the first half we were talking about the need for Adelaide to kind of get the ball through hands and generate some open looks, and they've come out and hit back-to-back threes, and I think they're going to be feeling good going into the second half.
I've been really impressed by them. Nadia Hirsch should be honestly super proud of this group. The way they've played, they're fearless, they play together, they share the ball, they run. They're going to be tough. You know, they get Talbot back, they get some imports in the lineup. They're going to be a tough team, and full credit to Natty for putting these teams together.
I love what they're doing with the youngsters as
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
giving some great minutes. You see Borlase checking out the reigning Rookie of the Year. She's been excellent. Bourne has been excellent as well, and you can see on the screen there, Lauren Nicholson getting some attention. Looked like a bit of a bruise on the elbow, forearm, so hopefully that's all that it is, and we might see her back here on the court tonight, hopefully. Bourne missed that one off the front of the rim.
I think these Adelaide girls really love playing for Natty as well. They play so hard, and you can tell they're all really on the same page and really play for each other, and I think that definitely comes from their coaching staff for sure.
And Maddie, I know you've done some coaching as well. What's the adjustment, though, from a player to a coach? I want you to maybe put me in the situation for Nat Hurst.
More wine.
More wine, yeah.
I mean, a lot of my coaching has been junior basketball, so it's a lot of deep breathing.
Patience. Yoga.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think for Natty, you know, she had such a great career and so much experience. So I think just imparting that wisdom upon your players. And it's also really great to just have a good understanding of what your players are going through a season, through a game. And yeah, I think it's a hard transition for a lot of people to make, but I think the way Natty played, she was a point guard, a leader. I think her teammates really loved playing with her. So, you know, she was probably doing a bit of coaching while she was playing as well. So I think the transition would have been pretty easy for her.
They do say it is the point guards that transition a little bit easier to the coaching ranks. Alice, have you done any coaching previously, or is that anything you're interested in?
I like the development coaching. I think, you know, I probably didn't get much development coaching until later in my career. And I really just want to instill that and pass on what I've learned, kind of what you were saying, Maddie, to other players, you know, and you don't know what you don't know. So, you know, if I can pass on a little bit of experience, you know, from playing in Europe and around the world to these younger players, absolutely, I'd love to do that. Team coaching, I'm not too sure of.
All right. Okay.
It's very stressful.
It's very stressful, yeah. I think I would just be like,
So what can you tell us about your Townsville group? Obviously, you got a nice win the other night.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit more
nice win.
about the group.
More of a lucky win.
Probably
not the best. Probably not
Yeah.
the best game that we've played. I mean,
Yeah.
first game together, obviously.
Yeah.
Look, you know, I think Shannon and the staff at Townsville, you know, Sam the GM, they've put together a great team, and you know, having someone like Sammy Whitcomb play. I played with Sammy in Perth a couple of years ago, and she's just an incredible competitor. She's an incredible person, player. So just having that toughness in the group. Reedy's really stepped up. I've loved watching Zatina really step up and grow. You know, I've been gone for a lot of years, so I haven't really got to see Z. But, you know, going to China with her in the Opals, like I was just so impressed with her poise and her patience and how she reads the game. And I think that's full credit to, oh, that's a nice block. Full credit to Shannon. But, you know, I think we've got some teething, obviously, like every team. We've got to find our way, and we are a very defensive focus. So I think, you know, once we get Tiana back in, myself back in, Cass back in, we can get a bit more training. We haven't really had a lot of training up and down, but, you know, every team's going to be after us this season. That's just the reality of what's going on. You know, they won the championship last season, so we've got to be on our A game, and this league is tough. You can't come into any game thinking you're just going to win a game, you know, just rocking up. You've got to play, and I think that's what's so exciting about our league.
I think you gave us a little insight into what Shannon had to say after the game the other night, because there was not a lot of defense, to be fair, in that opening matchup.
We had an hour and 15 film session last night. So can you imagine my brain after the game? I was like, woo.
Oh, no. And what's the feel around the group? Obviously, there's some returning players, some new players coming in. On the back of a championship, what's the feel around, you know, is there some pressure regarding, you know, being reigning champions? What's the approach to that with Shannon and the rest of the group?
I wouldn't say there's any pressure. Well, I definitely haven't felt it. I think they're just an incredible group of girls. And I think that's one thing I've really noticed coming back to Australia is just you want to have good people, and all around the league there's just incredible girls, inspiring the younger generation, and I think in our team that's what we have. We just have great people who honestly come to training every day to just work hard, get better every single day, and I think if that's the focus, and that really is our focus at the Fire, just every single day get 1% better, give everything you've got on the court, then great things can happen. But it's a great group of girls. Everyone honestly just wants to learn. They want to get better. They want to improve, and I don't think they're thinking that, we won a championship last year, so we don't have to work. I think honestly it's like now we want to go one up. So it's a really good group, and that obviously comes from Shannon, Sam the GM. It all really flows down. So it's a really great environment to be a part of.
Yeah, awesome.
I love what you said also about good people and a good group. And you see the opportunity in a preseason to get out of Townsville and to get out of Sydney. And how important is that for you as a group to, obviously the action on the court helps, but all the stuff that happens off the court as well?
Absolutely. Townsville is a small place and we don't really have a whole lot to do, but it's important to build those connections off the floor as well. And I think that's even half the part of it as well, so you want to get to know your teammates, you want to get to know what they like, what they don't like, their family, their friends, those types of things. And I think this is a really special opportunity that we've obviously been given the advantage to come down and play these tournaments and see a lot of other teams. But I think this is where you form special bonds. And I know Sammy and I were talking at a school clinic yesterday, and we were all the kids asked what are your favourite accolades, and for me, I couldn't even really tell you the accolades. Honestly, it's the important friendships that you make and the lifelong friends that you can not see after 10 years and be so happy to see. So I think that's really special. But for this group, it's been really good. And, we don't have Zatina tonight. She has her sister's wedding, and obviously we don't have Hawk. But once we get the full group together, I think it'll be really good and just keep gelling and keep building from there.
And again, said it the same thing about all the opportunities for all of these teams to get out on the road early in the preseason, getting to know each other off the court and on the court, super important. As you see McSpadden come up with a big block. Both teams playing with great energy here. Another, they got McSpadden up for the foul. I thought it was going to be a shot clock violation. Pretty good defense there from Sydney. They forced a 5-second call on the possession before that as well. So things kind of ramp up here in this third quarter. Adelaide doing a really good job.
They're taking the lead.
Yeah, I can't say enough about it because both of these groups playing with players that are DPs and probably not going to be seeing a lot of minutes, particularly this Adelaide group. They're really, really young, so just super valuable minutes for them in the preseason because it allows you to be prepared to understand a little bit about what you might see in the regular season, I should say.
And that's what happens in the season. People go down, people get injured. It's a chance for other players to step up. We spoke about it last night in the NBL. Bain's out, leaves players to really step up, and that's what you want as an athlete. And when you're given that opportunity, you want to take that and grasp that with both hands, and you want to show your coach, hey, give me more minutes and play me more. And I think these Adelaide girls have absolutely shown that to Nat, and she should be really impressed.
And for Sydney, obviously, we see Nicholson still out there. She's still getting a little bit of treatment on the elbow. No Clark, so another great opportunity for the Flames to step up and have an opportunity to pick up some valuable minutes on the court.
Yeah, I think the Flames preseason's been a little tough for them. Obviously Kayla's over in the WNBA finals. Not sure what the issue with Tess Madgen is, maybe coming back from a few niggles. Obviously the import Dee Richards isn't in yet, so kind of tough to see people going down, but like we've been saying this whole time, it's a really good opportunity for the other players and the DPs and the young girls to really get a good go. And people like Bradley, who's stepped up in this game a lot, it's good for her to get some rhythm and kind of get to her spots and be making plays.
Oh, that's tough. I've really been impressed with Lara McSpadden as well. I played with Lara in 18-19 when 19-20 when I played for the Flames, and she's such a hard worker, and obviously she's had some years at Townsville and learnt a lot and composed herself a lot. So I'm really excited for her this season. I think she's going to have a great season under Guy Malloy and the Sydney Flames. I think she's going to be a really valuable player for them this season.
Any other players that you're looking forward to matching up with coming into the season? Because there's a lot of talent in the WNBL.
It is going to be a talented year. I mean, it's the usual suspects. Obviously, Sarah Blitzavs and I are no strangers to one another. Amy Atwell, Maylee, Look, I think Nadia Poch is another really exciting one coming through, and she had a breakout season last year, and I know she's going to be hungry for a little bit more this season. But, you know, Borlase, Talbot, if she makes it back into the league, and Alex Sharp's another one that I was really impressed. Nice take. That I was really impressed with in China. You know, I think she probably didn't get the opportunities that she deserved in Perth, and I've seen her growth in the off season, and she played really well in China with us for the Opals. So I think she's going to have a really great year, and I'm not excited to guard her, but I'm excited for her to have a great season. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think you know, you mentioned Lara McSpadden, and I think Sydney has done a really good job here in this third quarter, featuring Lara, because Adelaide at the moment really struggling to guard her in the paint. They kind of have gotten Lara a little more deeper, closer to the basket, where in the previous matchup on Thursday night we saw her operating out of the high post. Really good opportunity for Lara to have the ball in her hands and to create offensively.
How have you found the talent, and what have you been most excited by watching these games?
For me, I mean, the talent that we have and the depth of the talent, I think, is something that has really stood out for me in the couple of days that we've been here. You know, I harp on it a bit, but the young talent that we have here, but just across the league and in Australian basketball as a whole, you know, you see the NBL talent, the WNBL talent is just as much, if not more so. We see players stepping up. We see players returning from college and really stepping right into the WNBL and contributing. And to me, I think that's what's exciting for heading into the season, but just across basketball as a whole. You know, you look at the age groups, the 19s, the 17s. We have players that are performing on the international level and performing at the highest level and winning medals, and that only bodes well for the competitions that we have here in Australia.
I mean, ultimately, Australian basketball is the winner, so that's exactly what we want. And another nice job by Lara McSpadden there. So
she's just taking over this quarter.
Absolutely.
Lara's now
10 points in about 8 minutes.
You really forget how tall she is, and she's long. She's long and she's
broad
strong.
Shoulders.
You actually can't move her. So, you know, they've got to keep feeding her the ball, and Adelaide have really got to adjust. They've got to find a way to stop her. Yeah,
what adjustments do you think they can make? Because I think what's happening now is they've really spread the floor, Sydney, and just allowing Lara to operate out of that pick and roll. And, you know, 21 points, 15 rebounds, 5 offensive. Not a bad output with still another, 12, 20 to go in the game.
Maybe they might look to hard show and maybe get the ball out of the guard's hands a little bit quicker, or maybe they'll just go into drops and then they'll just stay closer to Lara. But it'll be interesting to see what adjustment they make, because they are a little bit undersized in that area.
Maddie, what do you think? I mean, how do you adjust to that? Because we see Sydney almost featuring Lara on every possession here.
Yeah, I think Lara's a really tough guard because, you know, you can make adjustments, but she's someone that just works so hard for everything she gets. So you cover her one possession and she gets an offensive rebound and a putback. Yeah, I think maybe a drops coverage. The scoring from the guards has kind of slowed down a bit, so maybe you give them a bit more of a look than Lara. But yeah, there definitely has to be some adjustments made when, like you said, someone's got 21 and 15 with 12 to go in the game.
Yeah, we just saw Loz Nicholson there. The elbow did not look great.
That looked sore. I've had an elbow injury, and they are not fun.
Yeah, so hopefully it's just a bruise and nothing more serious, but I really don't think that we'll see Lauren Nicholson here again tonight. Hopefully a bit of ice and a bit of rest will help, because that's that would be a really tough loss for this Sydney Flames group. But credit to them. They've got themselves back into the lead. They're up by 1.
There she goes again.
She is everywhere.
I think conversely, Adelaide need to get Lara in pick and rolls. I'm not saying she can't defend a pick and roll, but you've got to get her tired. You've got to get her moving up and down the floor, because or else she can just there you go, once again. She can just focus on the offensive end. Now they've got to push the floor, get her involved in pick and rolls, and they've got to get downhill and attack the ring.
Yeah, very young lineup here for this Adelaide group.
Looks like they're playing a bit of a zone, almost.
Born, nice patience from the youngster.
Nice, good take.
Great finish as well.
She's been very impressive. She's a great shooter. I don't know what they do in Adelaide, but
lots of reps.
Well,
lots of reps.
You were talking about the development. I mean, those are one of the things that you have to really develop early is the shooting. The ability to shoot is going to take you places. What are the keys, do you think, for a youngster getting in there and getting the reps?
Just repetition and get a good coach to really coach you. I remember when I came out of the Institute of Sport, I was playing a 4-man, and and my shot probably wasn't the best, but I went and played for Tom Maher and Michelle Timms, and I worked with Gary Fox every morning at 6 a.m. to work on my shot. So, full credit for them to helping me, but you need someone to put in the hours with you and really coach you and really develop you, because that's the only way you're going to get better.
Maddie, what about when you have your coaching hat on with those youngsters? Yeah. What are you teaching them from a shooting perspective?
Reps 100% reps. The only way you get good at something is doing it a million times.
Nice board. Great job.
Again, another one. I think it's different for everyone. No one shot looks the same.
Yeah.
It's just I try and teach a lot about footwork and rhythm and feeling really good when you catch the ball. So once you do have those reps under your belt, you're just shooting the same shot every time, and you've got your feet under you, and you're feeling really nice putting it up.
A lot of shooting, sorry to cut you off, is obviously belief as well. Belief that you're going to make a shot. And I think from an early age, if that's instilled in players, that can really go a long way in their career, that, no matter what, I'm going to back myself to take a shot. And okay, if I miss 1, 2, 3, you've got to keep backing yourself to make the next one.
It's definitely a fearlessness that comes with being a shooter.
Always
for sure.
the next shot. There's always the next one. And you've just got to be prepared. You can miss 7 and then you make the 8th and you win the game. So anything can happen.
That was a great miss there by Curtin, but she got herself back in it and made a nice cut to the basket. And Sydney looking really efficient offensively here. They're up by 3. And we got about 30 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Let's see what Sydney can do. Probably work a little bit of clock here. Another 8-second call.
Oh, my gosh.
That's the second one of the quarter. I haven't seen that all preseason. I haven't seen it for ages, and we see 2 1/4.
I don't think I've seen that in 15 years I've been playing.
Just going too slow.
I'm very confused. That's not great shot clock recognition by Sydney, and I'm sure Guy Malloy wouldn't be too impressed by that.
Well, the shot clock only reset to 14 there, so
okay.
I thought it would reset to the full 24. It didn't. Anyway, Adelaide gets the miss.
Now they've got to push. They've got to get downhill. They've got 6 seconds. She needs to get on the ring.
Yeah, Hurst turning on the Jets. A lot of contact.
Good
No call, so 1.9 on the clock. Really good opportunity. We talked about situational basketball. Great opportunity here for Sydney.
I was just looking to see if Guy was going to call a timeout, but he might be saving them.
A little bit of confusion. Alice, I know you guys have Perth coming up next. What are you looking for out of your group, and what are you expecting from Perth in that one?
Defense.
just defense.
Just
okay.
Overall defense. No, look, it is. We are a new team, and we're still finding our way. But it's effort, it's demeanor, it's the intent. And I think if you have all those things, then there's going to be mistakes. Basketball is a game of mistakes. So if you have all those things, you've got the effort, you've got the right demeanor, you've got the right intent, then you can fix things along the way. But I think just our intent, just be really sharp with the ball. Shannon. There's obviously a turnover, but Shannon really focused on being sharp with the ball, and these possessions matter. I know it doesn't really seem like it in the preseason, but that's when you build the really good habits in the preseason, and that shows down the stretch in a really tough game. So obviously Perth are a great team. They're another great shooting team. They have free-flowing offense. They're much like Adelaide. They've got no fear. So I think we've really got to pick the ball up early. We've got to stay true to our defensive principles, and we've got to play hard and play together.
Well, I can't wait to see what the Fire do. I was hoping we got to see you on the court, but
I thought I would just have a little look around because I've been gone for so long. Just get my book out and write some notes down for the season. No, I'm really disappointed I'm not out there, but I'm really looking forward to being out there with the girls.
I do have a Perth-specific question. How do you get Annalie Bailey off the offensive rebounds? What do you have to do?
Oh my gosh! You just
is it possible?
You just got to get the crazy glue out on the sneakers, I think.
Oh, you just have to turn and face her. She is a tough cover, and she is absolutely relentless. She's so impressive the way she just absolutely relentlessly goes on the board. So you've got to find her early. You've got to turn and face and find a body early, and then you've got to get your guards to really swoop in while you're boxing her out. But it's a tough job, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it today.
I can't wait
it's not me today.
I can't wait for that one. Alice, I know you want to get back with the team. We'd love to keep you here. If you want to, if you can stay, please do. If you got to run, you run whenever you need to. We got a quarter to go in this one. Adelaide was able to get themselves back into the lead. However, it's Sydney now that goes into the final quarter of action, up by 3. Just quickly looking at the box scores, and we talked about Lara McSpadden. She's got the double-double already, 23 points, 17 rebounds, 6 of them offensively. Pretty efficient, 9 of 17 Maddie, we said it though. There was a few in the first half that she gave away, so she could be looking at a 30-piece anyway, though.
I think she's more than made up for it. I also love how she puts, she gets down 2 steals, she gets down a block. She's drawn 3 fouls, and the efficiency is 33. So yeah, we said it before the game. She's a stat sheet stuffer, and I think her role in the Sydney team this season is going to be so crucial for them, and just great energy coming off the bench.
And for Adelaide, when you think about Adelaide and the group that they have here, you would think it would be Lauren Mansfield, but she's been pretty quiet. 7 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. It's the youngsters, though, like we said. Taylor Brazel has 13 points, 4 of 10 from the field, 3 of 6, though, from 3. And then Izzy Borlays, 13 points as well, doing a little bit of everything. 4 rebounds, 4 assists. The Rookie of the Year, showing why she was the Rookie of the Year last year.
With a body like that, she's very impressive and very capable.
Yeah, so
I think she's going to have a great season. Obviously learning under Steph Talbot, and Nat's obviously done a lot of work with her, and she's fearless. She goes hard at the rim, so I think she's going to be a talent for the future, and I'm really looking forward to watching her this season. Probably not looking forward to guarding her, but I'm looking forward to watching her.
Yeah, she's been excellent and been really one of the standout players for me so far throughout this River City Rebound, and there she is.
It's a nice cut.
Great cut, tough catch too, and just a little deep on the attempt.
I've really been impressed with Lauren Mansfield. Obviously, she's had a year or so in the 3x3, and I can tell that's really helped her game, her passing. She's quick off the bounce. She's got a nice shot. So I've really been super happy for Loz to see her really find her feet back again in the WNBL and play some really great basketball. And I think she's going to be vital for this team. She's a leader. She really steadies the ship for this group. She's tough. She's fearless. And I think Nat would be really happy having her on her own team.
I totally agree. I think the 3x3 game has reinvigorated
Absolutely.
her game 100%. You played a bit of 3x3 yourself. What's how do you transfer the skills, and how do you think it improves your 5-on-5 game?
It's probably the best thing for your basketball. I had some of my best years after playing a lot of 3x3, and I think every player should not play it, but play some version of it. And I think in training it really helps each player, and you've got to learn how to there's Lara once again. You've got to learn how to transition from offense to defense. You've got to guard bigs, you've got to guard smalls, you've got to take physicality. In 3x3 there's no fouls called, so you have to be physical, you've got to be mentally strong. And I think that's such a big thing with 3x3 that I've seen, is just that mental toughness. You're playing in 40-degree heat, it's hot, you get no calls, you're flying on the floor, you've got grazers all over you, but that's what builds resilience, and that's what builds character. And I think it's really transitioning into the 5-on-5 game. And I think players like Mansfield and players up and coming, Annalie Maley. Now we've seen Marina Whittle go overseas and play, and she's improved her game so much. And I think that's all from 3x3.
I love the aspect of 3x3. The movement off the ball, I think, is something that really translates really well. I think for a little while, basketball got a very one-on-one, but I think now with that introduction of 3x3, you see a lot of people with the ball movement not necessarily putting the ball on the floor. We've seen a few times Lara with the ball just finding that backdoor cut, and I think that's one of the things that translates really well also. I love watching how it translates to the 5-on-5. The 3-on-3 for me, it's so fast, so fast.
And you can't hide. I think
no, you can't hide. You can't hide.
You can't hide offensively. You can't hide defensively. So got to be super duper dynamic. And yeah, I agree. I think there's a total correspondence between the players we've seen improving in the WNBL and internationally over the last couple of years versus the ones that are playing in those 3x3 competitions and international teams.
And I think for big men, it really teaches them how to also pass out of the post. And I think coming into playing in Europe and playing in the league, if you can have a big that can read the game, to get it, see the help, dish it out, that absolutely opens up your offense. And I think you really learn those skills playing the 3x3, because you see the help, you've got to dish it out. You've only got 3 people on the floor.
Yeah.
Like you said, you can't hide, Maddie. So I think it's just vital for players to play and develop and learn and grow. And that's a nice fast break.
Great defensive set as well.
Guy Malloy will be really happy with that.
And again, that's Lara McSpadden on the hard show. Good communication on the recovery. Help defense gets the tip, and then Sydney's off and running. You got to love that if you're Coach Malloy, the defense to offense.
Nice take.
Yeah, good finish there from Brazel. Nearly lost it on the way up. Good soft little touch there for Brazel. Team's going back and forth here. neither team really able to take full control over this one. We got 7 1/4 to go in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, I think Sydney's paying a lot of attention to Loz Mansfield now. They know if she gets going, then that kind of gets the rest of the team going. So probably the other Adelaide players need to be looking aggressive and looking to contribute so that it can take off some of that pressure from Loz.
Good screen from Bourne. Brazel just hit one. Can she make it two? Yes, she can.
I don't think she's missed.
Taylor Brazel now has 18 points, and she has missed, but not very often, Maddie. She's 4 of 7 from 3.
Yeah, nice. And that's what I mean. You got to get involved off the ball and be kind of fearless and ready to take shots when the defense is collapsing in on those other key players.
I like the timeout, though, as well, because you still want to win. Even though it's preseason, you never want to lose. So I like what the coaches are doing here. Very, again, it's as much for the coaches as it is for the players, understanding not just the situation, but who can perform, who plays well with each other, who maybe you don't want to have on the court at the same time. And again, situationally, really, really important. I think one of the things I wanted to touch on with you, Alice, that you just mentioned, the big that can pass. McSpadden has been awesome these 2 games.
So impressive.
But particularly with the passing, I don't think we saw a lot of that in the NBL 1 North. Lara had very offensive importance for her Rockhampton group. But just, again, let's touch on the passing of the bigs.
It absolutely opens up the game. I've really been so impressed with Zatina, how she can just see the help and dish it out. That gets other people involved in the game. If you've got a big that's trying to go 1-on-3, 1-on-4, you're probably not going to get much out of your offense. But you can kick it out, then you can go second side, then you can re-attack again. You've just got the defense moving, you've got them on their heels, you've got them playing 23, 24 seconds of offense, then they've got to go down, play a grind offense themselves. That makes them tired. So I just think if you can have a big that can pass the ball, your team is looking good.
Yeah, well, Sydney's looking good with Lara McSpadden passing and operating out of the high post. Alice, I know you got to run.
Sorry, guys. It's been such a pleasure.
Great
This has been
have
great.
you.
Yeah, it's been awesome having you. Really
Thank
excited
you.
to have you back in the WNBL. We can't wait to see you on the court with the Townsville Fire. And really good luck with all the
Thank
commentary
you.
as well.
Oh, thank you so
Awesome.
much. Go Fire.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
That's Alice Koenig. Thank you so much for joining us, Alice. We've got about 6.5 minutes to go here in this game. It's been a great game of basketball, and very much like the other night, Adelaide just hanging around. They are fighting tooth and nail to get themselves back into this game.
Yeah, I think Taylor Brazel has been so impressive. Lauren Mansfield probably hasn't had quite the output that we're used to from her in terms of her scoring, but she's making plays, she's getting other people involved. Taylor Moll is another one. She's kind of quietly going about her business. I think she's missed 1 shot on the night. So, I think if Adelaide can get everyone involved and maybe find a way to stop Lara McSpadden, if possible, at this point in time, then, they're in for a good chance here. But also would like to see Izzy Bourne getting a bit more involved, make Lara McSpadden work a bit more defensively, like Alice was saying.
Yeah, and you love that from Bourne. She got done by McSpadden on the other end and just wants it back
Return
and goes
the
right
favor.
back at her. Really good battle between Bourne and McSpadden. McSpadden having a huge night here. She's got 27 points, 19 rebounds, and 2 assists.
Yeah, I think we were talking earlier with Des about Lara playing in that high post action. And, I think it not only gives the rest of her teammates an opportunity to get involved, but I think she really likes operating out of that space as well. If she's setting a screen at the foul line at the elbow, it's so hard to guard because you can't really go under people at that point, and you got to pay attention to her because she's in the keyway. So Sydney getting back to that, but Izzy Bourne's having a good crack at it now. She's really getting going.
Yeah, well, you asked for her to step up. She has 5 straight for Adelaide. They trail by 1. Here is McSpadden at the elbow. Jump shot doesn't fall, and Bourne grabs the rebound. And Adelaide will have an opportunity to take a lead here with the basket. Good kickback for Simons. 3 from the top of the key. It's Adelaide now back into the lead. This has been a great game. Very, very tight.
I think these games just are really speaking to the quality of the WNBL. I think Alice was saying it before. You can definitely tell the the quality of the league has increased so much in the last couple of years, and I think this is a great showcase of it. You know, a lot of the teams are missing key players, imports, opal stars, and we're still seeing these really high caliber games that are super close, fighting tooth and nail, and we're seeing massive performances from, you know, people who we maybe wouldn't see these regularly during the season.
And again, I know I keep saying it, but it is so important to get these minutes under your belt, especially in the preseason, because opportunities are always there. They always come up, and last thing you want is to sit on the bench for the preseason and get called upon in the regular season.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to get your legs going underneath you, and I think I touched on it earlier. Just understanding your place and your role and where your shots are coming from, how you need to be playing defense, your positioning, kind of your role, and where your teammates like the ball. And that stuff is what you develop in the preseason. Just add some players in.
And Mansfield looking to get aggressive. It was strong on the layup attempt. There's Bourne blocked by McSpadden. That is a great matchup in the paint.
They are going at it. Another block.
Big block there from Curtin. She shut the curtain on Mole on that one. And here comes Bradley, who's been very good as well. A little more offensive responsibility for Bradley, and she stepped up tonight.
Yeah, she's gone a little quiet in the second half, but I think both teams are kind of sensing the moment, and, you know, 3 minutes left to go. It's a 1-point game, and like we said before, it might be the preseason, but if you're not playing to win, then you're probably not playing in the WNBL.
I like that, Maddie. 1-point lead for Adelaide. 3:20 to go in the game. Bradley working off the McSpadden screen.
Nice.
No look pass. McSpadden, tough catch
Great
and finish. I love that from McSpadden, and they have a really good connection, don't they?
Yeah, I was literally about to say, I think the Sydney needs to get into some action with McSpadden in a pick and roll and kind of get that settling bucket to put them back in front.
It is a 1-point lead for Sydney. Mole catch and shoot off the side of the rim.
Good
And
pressure
both
from
teams
Sydney.
really short benches here tonight, so a lot of minutes to be had. You see Lara McSpadden. She looks exhausted as Bradley. That's too easy. And Coach Nadhurst wants the timeout. Her team trails by 3 now. That one was Adelaide just fell asleep defensively there.
Yeah. Second game of the weekend, getting a little bit tired. I think that's a good timeout by Nat. 2 minutes to go. You can kind of feel it slipping a little bit, and you just want to get everyone on the same page, maybe settle them down with an offense to go with. And, sign a really good coaching.
Should remind everyone, this is the first game of a doubleheader. The next matchup, which will be in about half an hour, is going to be the Townsville Fire taking on the Perth Lynx. Another great game. Both games in the first night on Thursday night came down to the last possession, and this one very, very tight, very close. Again, I wouldn't be surprised to see this one come down right to the end, Maddie.
Yeah, I think the WNBL is just putting on a show for Brisbane. Get out and watch, jump on the live stream, and catch some very quality basketball. This is what everyone wants to see, and just two quality teams going up against each other. I think it's also really important to note, just looking at both benches, we talk about the quality of players, but you look across both benches and the quality of the coaching staff, and particularly the presence of women in both coaching staff. You know, obviously we've got Guy Malloy, the head coach, and Natty Hurst, but Mel Downer sitting on the Adelaide bench, a really established coach in Queensland. And on the other side, Renee, I wanted to say Camino, but her last name's Garlop.
Yep.
Renee Garlop and our very own Tiana Mangakahia. I think it's just, you see the output of the players and the quality of basketball being played, and a lot of the time you've got to, give some credit to the coaches and the preparation and the film and the playbook and all those things, and I think that's just another really great thing that's on show this weekend.
It's been excellent. Some great basketball being played. We've got about 2:15 of some more great basketball ahead of us here, plus the game coming up next. It was a good look for Brazil on there. Very nice set. Unfortunately, just a little short for Adelaide. They trail by 3 with 2 minutes to go. There's that Bradley and McSpadden screen.
Sydney want to just use their possession here, get a really good look after a good defensive set.
They definitely worked the clock. I don't know if that's the shot they wanted, but Adelaide doing a good job giving it to Sydney there.
Yeah, you can tell they're kind of sinking in on Lara now. They know who's hurting them.
Mansfield had a good look at it, missed. McSpadden another 3. And Sydney again will work some clock here. 1:30 to go, and Sydney holding a 3-point lead.
Yeah, I think we're starting to see some signs of fatigue. Both teams a bit short on the bench, and yeah, getting down to that. The last couple of minutes of their second game of the weekend, that is a great pull.
That was a good look. McSpadden, unfortunately, couldn't get a hold of that one.
You see 3 people collapsing in on her, though. It's obviously the attention she deserves with 29 and 22 rebounds.
Yeah, very Michaela Roof-like stat line. We're familiar with seeing that in the NBL 1 North, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
3-point game. Adelaide, another crack at it. Nice read there by Borlase. Euro steps her way inside. And then she gets a frustration foul there. She hacked Rowe. So only the 3rd team foul on Adelaide. No team fouls on Sydney. So referee certainly letting them play. I know you wouldn't mind that, Maddie.
Oh, absolutely. I always say I prefer a no call than a bad call.
I like that. I think the referees would like that one as well.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think this level of play, you got to let it go, especially in the last minute or two. You don't want, the game coming down to referee decisions or whatever. That one's a clear foul, so obviously has to be called. But yeah, it's good to just see them, letting them play it out and letting the talent speak for itself.
Under a minute now. McSpadden tries to do it herself. Tough attempt, missed. And here comes Adelaide now. Bourne has it early inside. Borlase tried to catch and shoot. She missed a little too deep under the hoop.
We just haven't seen a score from either team in a while, and Sydney probably want to get a good one here, good one to maybe seal the game, and Adelaide definitely need a stop and a score.
Bradley guarded by Bourne. Good harassing defense. Bradley gets past her. Foul was on the floor.
Just a little reach in there.
It's going to be the 4th personal on Izzy Bourne, the 4th team foul. So one more to give for Adelaide before they're in the penalty. They trail by 3.
Where are the timeouts? Where are we at here?
I think they each have 2 timeouts to go.
Okay. Oh,
Curtin traveled.
Surely a timeout here.
Yes, there you go. What do you what are you going to draw up if you're Coach Nat Hurst?
Look, I think you primarily want to get a look at a 3-point shot. If you can't get it, get any score. Yeah, you have to get within touching distance of the Flames here, and definitely quick score. I would advance it. You get a few more possession or one more possession in. Quick score, quick stop.
Does it have to be a 3 if you're Adelaide?
I think primarily you want to go for the 3. I think if it's not there, don't force it and go for any score.
All right, we're going to welcome Despina Dickerson back in. You gave up your microphone for Alice Koenig. Thank you for that.
I did. Someone much better who, I think probably gave a lot of really good insight as well.
It was nice to have Alice, but it's always good to have you as well, Des. Don't sell yourself short. You do a great job as well. And, it's been another great game of basketball here. River City Rebound has been so good, and we got to thank you and the team at Basketball Queensland for putting this all together and with the support of the Queensland government. Yeah,
it's been a really good opportunity, I think, for some people in Brisbane and surrounding areas to see some really great women's basketball. And again, they haven't let us down another really close and exciting game, so that's always really good to see as well.
And again, just want to remind everyone, we do have another game of basketball coming up for you. Of course, you could tune in live at the Basketball Queensland YouTube channel. If you're in the southeast corner, though, you should be here because nothing better than watching it live in person, that's for sure. 19.1 seconds on the clock, 14 on the shot clock for Adelaide. They trail by 3. Let's see what they got out of the timeout from Coach Nat Hurst.
Shooters everywhere for Adelaide. Oh, foul call.
Yeah, they did call the foul. It's only the 1st team foul on the Sydney Flames, though, so you got some fouls to give. What you don't want to do if you're Sydney, though, is foul on a made basket.
Or on the three-point line.
So let's see. Again,
So they run the same thing.
I like the foul, though. Why not? Try and throw them off a little bit.
Makes sense, especially when you've only got, 0 of them, or now 1. You've got a few to give.
Bourne
Adelaide
gets it.
probably need to move a bit quicker here.
Here we go. Mansfield now shakes free, steps into the 3. It's off the front of the rim. Long rebound. It's a fight between Hurst and Mull. It's a jump ball. Possession arrow favors Adelaide. So 3.1 seconds to go. Let's see. You got to go for the 3 now if you're Adelaide.
Got to. Probably just not really enough urgency on that play. Sky Malloy throwing a bone here to Natty Hurst and giving her another timeout, or is it for something defensive now that he's seen the play a few times?
Well, it'd be interesting to see what adjustments they make defensively. I thought for Adelaide, they had so much time on the clock. I would have liked to have seen them go for maybe just a quick hit at the basket and then foul. It really felt like they wasted too much time trying to get a good look from 3.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. If it's not there, if it's not a clear, great shot, then get any score you put yourself, only down by 1. Maybe you get fouled while you're taking the shot, and then you have an opportunity to make a quick play. They're also on 4 fouls. They could have sent the Flames to the foul line, but, shoulda, coulda, woulda. This is what preseason's for. Work out the kinks. Work out how you want to play in these types of situations.
And it's interesting, Des, put your coaching hat on. Do you sit in a zone against the sideline out of bounds, down 3, or trailing by 3? Or, excuse me, I should say up by 3 if you're Sydney.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see what they do actually do here. Just, I guess, to make sure that I think the biggest thing is make sure you keep the ball out of the hands of Mansfield and, not let her shoot here or score here either.
Well, they go cross court, then they reverse it. Mansfield fires from the wing. It's just short, and that's going to do it for the game. And it's the Sydney Flames picking up the 3-point win, 72-69.
Yeah, another big, really exciting game, and tough to not make that bucket exactly the person I said you had to keep the ball out of her hands, but yeah, tough not to make it.
It did. On point.
It did. I think it would have been pretty exciting had it gone in. But what are your takeaways from the game today?
Yeah, I think obviously a monster game by Lara McSpadden, who hopefully John's going to grab. And I think for Sydney, it's just a really good way to come away with a win. They had pretty much 6 players by the end of it. They scrapped for everything. And, even though it's a preseason, you want to find a way to win and string together wins when it gets really tough. So that's a big one for Sydney. I think they'll be really happy with it. Also a great game by Adelaide. I think, they came out, they played some good defense. They were probably kind of started a bit slow, and Sydney were looking like they could go away with it, and they really kept themselves in the game, played some good defense, and made some big shots.
And I mean, after this, what do you think is something that they'll kind of look on to tweak if you're the Lightning?
I think probably just, finding ways to stop, the players like Lara McSpadden when they're having monster games. I think also we probably needed to see some more people get involved down the stretch for Adelaide.
And I mean, John Guana is down on the court now with Lara McSpadden. She had 29 points and 22 rebounds, a massive game, and here he is.
All right, I got Lara McSpadden with me. Lara, so good to see you back in Queensland, but you look pretty comfortable in the Flames jersey.
Yeah, I mean, it's home for me. It feels pretty good to be back playing in Sydney. Yeah, I mean, it's good, and we've got a good group, and I'm really excited for the season.
You had an offensive explosion here tonight, 29 points, 22 rebounds. You were working really hard there. How are you feeling after that big game?
I'm gassed. No, but I mean, these tournaments are great for that sort of thing. Like, we've got Kayla and Dee Dee coming back, so for players like myself and, other kind of more role players, to get this chance to, get our reps in is really good. So, yeah.
How's it feel to be back in Queensland? Obviously, you've been up here for a little while. Looked like you had a lot of fun down in the community yesterday.
It was fun. I mean, Queensland's like my second home now, and I mean it's a bit of a soft spot to be back in the north side cauldron, but no, that's okay. I love playing here, and the fans are great. It's a great environment to be in. Yeah.
And just one last question before I let you go. What do you want to take out of this preseason competition for yourself individually, and what will that help you bring to the group?
Individually, probably just being confident in myself, in the place and in the system. I mean, it's a pretty similar system to what I'm used to, but adjusting to like the terminology and that sort of thing, just getting that down pat so that if I get the call up, it's a seamless transition into the game.
Well, it was awesome. Great performance tonight. So good to see you back in Queensland. Enjoy the win, and looking forward to see you play again tomorrow.
Thanks, John. Yeah, we'll see you then.
All right, back to you guys.
Yeah, a tremendous performance there by Lara McSpadden, finishing the game again with she finished with 29 points and 22 rebounds. That's a massive game, right?
Absolutely. I think you look across the whole stat sheet. She's done it at 50% shooting, 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, bunch of fouls drawn on her, and she's just such a humble, lovable character. And you know, she sees herself as a role player, but in this team, I know they got some big names, but she's going to come off the bench and just give them something that I think they're really going to need in a lot of games.
Yeah, absolutely. She's kind of the person that you can depend on to just do it all and give her all at all times, you know. So definitely somebody that you need to have on your team. But anyway, that obviously wraps up the first game of the night. We got another really exciting one coming up for you. We got the Lynx versus the Fire, and we will be back with you again shortly. I'm Desmond Dickinson, and I'm joined by Maddie Allen. We'll see you later.